Hey Omnes! Today we're going to learn about adverbs, dive a little bit more deeply into them. You got some practice with some of the sort of irregular adverb forms the other night for homework, but now I want to dive into them in a little bit more detail and to work with you with them. All right, so let's take a look. So first off, we got our general categories, and I think the workbook did a really good job of grouping some of these irregular ones together, right? Heri, hodie, kras, yesterday, hodie, today, tomorrow. Um, Nunc mox, now, already, soon, so, therefore, right? All of these words, which are always kind of like the bane of your existence when you're translating, you're trying to remember them. The number one way, there aren't a ton of rules, tricks to it besides studying them, using them, trying to create mini little sentences with them, and thinking about them critically to help get them locked into your brain, pairing them off like Atakwe and Igitor mean the same, um, like and finding other words that mean similar things and keeping them grouped together in your mind. But we're not going to spend so much time talking about these in this video because there isn't so much for me to help you with in terms of organizing your um, thought processes about them. Instead, we're going to focus on these bottom two rows: alte, pulcre, longe, deeply, beautifully, far, and breviter, crudeliter, fortiter, shortly, cruelly, bravely, because these follow some very clear patterns that we can identify, and it'll help us recognize adverbs when we see them in translation. All right, so these bottom two. And what we're going to know is that alte, pulcre, longe, with those long e's, are going to be how we change 2-1-2 adjectives into adverbs, and the brevis, breve, crudelis, crudele, fortis, forte, when we add an iter onto those, that's how we change third declension adjectives into adverbs, right? So that's going to be what we talk about right now. So here are some exempla, 2-1-2 adjectives to adverbs: stem plus the e with a macron ending, third declension adjectives to adverbs, stem plus the iter ending. So keeping that in mind, why don't you pause the video and try and turn all of these adjectives, second 2-1-2 adjectives and third declension adjectives, into their adverb forms. And then think about what the adverb would be translated as. Okay, so pause the video and take some time to do that, and then we'll go over them together. All right. So take a look. So I go to the stem, which is always going to be the second form in the dictionary info. So pulcher, pulcra, that tells me that the actual stem, we drop the e, and so we drop the e on the adverb as well, this e, and add a long e at the end. Here, clara, drop the a. Clar is my stem, e is my ending because it's an adverb. And then longus, drop the a, keep the long, and then add an e with a macron, longe. So it's beautifully, clearly, famously, right? And far. And because we don't say longly in English, okay, we say it's kind of far, far off, right? Acer, acre, sacre. The stem is going to be acre because we know that is is the part that is the ending because the ACR stays on both of these. So we know the stem is ACR. We add iter, acriter. The stem is BREV here because we see the only thing that changes is the IS to an E. So breviter. And then felix, we know the stem is the IS. Felic is the stem. IS drops off. We add the iter, feliciter. Keenly, sharply, right? Breviter is shortly, and feliciter is happily. All right? So that's the rule. When we see any 2-1-2 adjective, go to the stem, add an e to make it an adverb. And if we see any third declension adjective, we're going to make it an adverb, we add an iter. This is actually a lot like English. Think of it, right? We have beautiful in English, that's the adjective, a beautiful tree. And then if I want to make it an adverb, I just add on an ending. Instead of an e with a macron or an iter, I add on an ly, beautifully, right? You sing beautifully, because adverbs, as hopefully we know by now, describe verbs or other adjectives or adverbs, whereas adjectives describe nouns. So you sing beautifully, but it is a beautiful tree. Okay? Adjective, adverb. All right, let's keep moving. So now we're going to look a little bit at comparative adverbs, and these can have sometimes fatal consequences when we use a comparative adverb versus a regular adverb. So we notice in this sentence, the puer currit celeriter. So what does the boy do? The boy runs, currit, right? Past an ambulo. The boy runs quickly. Sed leopardus currit celerius. Another way to write this would be leopardus celerius currit quam puer. And now you might be hearing the leopard runs faster than the boy. The boy runs quickly, but the leopard runs more quickly. Hence the puer in periculo est. As you can see, comparative adverbs can be very dangerous, and they should be used wisely. And it is important that we recognize them. If the leopard's running more quickly, it's time for the boy to get out of dodge. And the way we recognize it is that IUS ending. We remember we've actually seen this form before, but you might have forgotten. We see that IUS ending also with comparative adjectives in the neuter nominative singular form. That's a whole lot of gobbledygook, a lot of Latinese, like formal grammar language. Let's look at some specific examples. We've got celerior, celerius, right? More quick. And then that's the masculine, feminine. If I'm describing a more quick animal, I'd say animal celerius. And so this is just a neuter comparative adjective. Pulchrior, pulchrius, clarior, clarius. Neuter, right? Masculine, feminine, neuter. Masculine, feminine, neuter. And so the other thing now to just recognize is that not only is this the neuter nominative singular or accusative singular form of the adjective, it's also the comparative adverb. So more quickly, more beautifully, more clearly. All right, so take some notes down on that. Maybe pause the video if you just need to process this a little bit more. Look back and try and translate these sentences again, because we're going to move on to one final topic, and I want to make sure everything's sort of settled in your brain. All right, superlative adverbs. Now these are the easiest part so far because we've actually already learned this topic. I just want to make sure we recognize the linkage, right? We remember when we were talking about positive adverbs, right? Like beautifully or famously or far. The pattern for 2-1-2 adjectives, which these all are, right? First, second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter, second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter, 2-1-2. When we wanted to make these into adverbs, we took the stem, we added E. Now, note the following superlative adjectives. What type of adjectives are they? They're all 2-1-2, as it says right up here. So, as you might have guessed, we're just going to make them adverbs. We make them adverbs, so we go from fiercest to most fiercely by changing that US to an E with a macron ending. Okay? So you can deduce then bravissимos is going to become bravissime. Clarissimos is going to become clarissime. Okay? And you can see all three written out here. So now what I would like us to do is, because we just learned a lot, I want us to go through this mixed practice. Ooh. Some of these are adverbs, some of these are adjectives. I want you to try and translate all of them, keeping an eye out to see, is this an adverb, is this an adjective, to help us practice the skills that we'll need to be able to use come translating time. All right, so pause the video and take some time, and I'll walk through them with you after. All right, here are the answers. Clarius, more clearly, right? It could also be the neuter, it could also be, right, like nomen, which is a neuter noun. It could also be a more famous name, right? Because this can also be a neuter adjective, but on its own, it's just a comparative adverb. Clarius, more clearly, and that I is what gives it away, the es ending. Crudelis is from crudelis, crudeli, and is just the adjective. So we can translate it as cruel. Fortiter,
The iter gives it away as just a regular adjective, regular adverb. Bravely, strongly. Felicissime, that e with a macron gives it away as an adverb. The issime gives it away. The issim gives it away as a superlative adverb. So most happily. Alte, deeply, right? There's no issime, but we have that e with a macron ending that makes us think, ooh, that looks like an adverb. And then acreor, that ior ending is a comparative adjective ending. Just like, right, eor equals er in English. So acreor is sharper, keener, fiercer. All right, I hope this was helpful. And you have now some exercises in your RTPG book, which will give you more practice with this and make you feel even more comfortable with it. All right, so go find those exercises, and I'll see you in class on Friday.